Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is a collective message. Or maybe it's collective coffee. I don't know. How's everyone feeling after the full moon? It was really bright, right? I don't know where you are, but I hope you're starting to feel fall. If you're in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, enjoy your summer. Spring, I guess, would be what is coming. Same old fuckery. I think what we really need to talk about is the DNC. I mean, I haven't watched it because I don't participate, but there's a lot of like rappers that I've seen, and you know, the Obamas were there giving speeches. I did like the diss that Michelle gave Trump about maybe he's trying to get a black job. That was funny, but they're all bad, you know. I think it's really interesting that so like riot police are in Chicago. I'm also thinking why all of this stuff is being held in the Midwest. I grew up in Wisconsin, and I think it's kind of interesting that the RNC was in Wisconsin. Wisconsin started going red while I was still there, like 10 years ago. But the RNC was in Milwaukee, and the DNC is in Chicago, and those are only like 45 minutes apart, not even, maybe. Yeah, depends on traffic, I guess. Been a while since I've done that drive, but all that to say is it's interesting that that is the area of the country in which these things are taking place. I don't know. I know Wisconsin used to be a swing state. A swing state is like it could go either way. Like Ohio's a swing state. I think Iowa, Arizona used to be, but I think Arizona, well, maybe it still is. But when I did work on the Obama campaign, the swing states are like where they do a lot of like campaign, I don't know, trail or whatever. And then they also like finish up there because they could go either way. So like, anyway, I just think it's interesting. I think geography is interesting to think about when thinking about these things. But the Chicago, excuse me, riot police are responding to protesters. I have seen that. I've also seen that people who are like politicians, I guess there's a sit-in happening at the DNC. I don't know if that's successful at all, but it is in regards to Palestine, both the protests and the sit-in. And I'm not sure if those are folks who are politicians or if they're, you know, regular people. I don't pay attention enough, but I see things, but it doesn't really interest me. But I think that it's just so dystopian, right? And I think that people make the connection between Hunger Games a lot, because again, using media is a really easy way to understand context and reality. And I think it's just so crazy how there's like just all of these different realities happening simultaneously, right? And Israel really utilizes Americans being distracted to take out horrific massacres. The amount of dead babies and dead children that I have seen in the past 11 months is absolutely life-changing, life-altering. And it doesn't stop. And then it's just crazy because the Emmys are happening, I guess, pretty soon. I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention to that shit either. Those are days that they, like, in my opinion, those are big, like, sacrifice days. But those are the days. It's really easy to see the is it easy for you all to see the connection of like Hollywood or political or athletic or, you know, these big events, holidays? Because it's a conversation that thousands of people, millions probably, are having about how the massacres in Palestine are always upped when there's a big distraction. And it's been, you know, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Super Bowl. Super Bowl was really bad. But yesterday there was a huge massacre again at a school, again with displaced families, and the amount of dead and injured children is just I don't know how other parents can see that. I guess they're not looking. I don't know what I would do if someone came after my child like that. I would be feral, you know? And I don't have religion holding me back. Let's keep it real. Hang on, he's upset. Give me 1 sec. What's wrong, buddy? Sit down. I heard you. Alright, let me get you on with pancakes. Sorry, I had to change the toga. Anyway, I would highly suggest. Oh, monkeypox. That's what's up. Monkeypox is happening, I guess. So we're doing 2020 all over again, election style and everything. There are already school closures in San Francisco. There's, I guess it originated in Africa, is what the media is saying. But I think a really important thing too, we're going to talk about this in my media class too. I guess I'm just going to put my media class on YouTube because it needs to be out there. Not give you guys the workbook. I got this sweater and it's like a cape. It only has buttons up here and it has a hood. Oh, and you know what else I got? Hang on. Side thing. We'll probably do a wake, bake, and make with this. This is like trending all over TikTok. It's a hair straightener. But it's like a comb. And so I dried my hair last night. But it's still really wavy. So we're gonna, you guys know Keith Lee, I got it, let's try it. But that'll be a different episode. Yeah, let me deliver these pancakes. Anyway, Mercury retrograde is almost over, thank goodness. Shit is really annoying. And oh yeah, monkeypox. Have you guys seen the movie Albert? No. Yeah, give me a sec. So, when we talk about media, we need to understand that the law of revelation is like when these entities or powers, I don't know if I'm gonna have to plug this in or not. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna turn I'll have to come back and talk about that with the monkeypox thing. Because there's a lot of movies that talk about these global pandemics, and they've been movies since like 15 years. The one I'm thinking, Contagion? No, Contagion? I don't know. Is that what it's called? I mean, like 28 days later. I've never watched those because those are like zombie ones. But anyway, that's all fake reality, or fake, not reality. Reality is that monkeypox is a thing now, and like I know that the schools in San Francisco, yesterday it was going around that they have switched over to virtual learning already. So, do we remember 2020? Because I feel like we've collectively been gaslit at a global level for multiple reasons, but especially the pandemic. Like I know there were people who got on like TikTok and were like, I have a gap in my resume because of the pandemic, and these people that interviewed me are like gaslighting me and being like, why do you have this gap here? And they were like, are you serious? Like there was a global pandemic. Or like even the fact that right now, because of things that have gone on with protests, that's too many. There's like mask bans, right? And it's just so crazy because like 4 years ago they were like mandating mask wearing, and now they're banning masks altogether. And it's just like, can y'all just like leave us alone and like let us do what we want or like feel like we need to do? I just think it's so interesting. That was a big crash. Are you okay? Do you want me to turn it up? Hang on, friends. I'm all over the place. I know. Okay. I got my other wardrobe package yesterday. And I have a lot of graphic tees now, which I'm very excited about. Nurture compassion, I guess, I mean, this is the other Doug. Be the change you wish to see in the world. I really live by that. I know that Gandhi was like super problematic, and he probably wasn't even the one that said that, but he's been given the credit for it. But be the change you want to see in the world is something that I have lived by for a really long time. Also with like the live simply so others can simply live. But yeah, like literally just be the change you wish to see, Treat people with the respect that you want to receive, It's like that empathy. Empathy is a big thing for me. Obviously, I have it tattooed. Forming structures and foundations. I feel like this is again speaking to community stuff. And I think that's why like the encampments were so powerful that the students were doing, is because they had access to all of those things, and like it was a very mutual aid and sharing and community space, which is something that especially since the pandemic globally people really want and are longing for and like desire, right? And that's part of the land back movement, because that's indigenous way of life, right? Like look at the Palestinians, look at everything that they're going through, and they're still able to like come up with these great things. Like I saw a woman who's distilling the ocean water to make it fresh water, and I saw a little kid who like had turned it like all these scraps of shit into like solar charging banks and stuff. And so I think that's all. We're going the wrong way as a society because we're being led the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like we're letting these idiots, and like I was so shocked in the first pandemic. Apparently we're gonna live through another one, which is super exciting. That's sarcasm. But like I was so shocked the way that people just like went on board with everything. I don't feel like I need cards right now. I think I said what I said. So within your communities, keep doing what you're doing. We didn't do art space last week because I needed the week off. And so we have it again tomorrow, and it like we felt really empty, you know? And so I'm really excited. Like, just do whatever you can to, you know, don't be afraid of your neighbors, and like figure out who they are, especially if you're in like white suburbia. And that's the thing, is like I didn't really know what community was until I was in Skid Row, really, honestly. Like, suburbia community is not real community. Like, growing up in suburbia, it was like, you know, you exchanged niceties with people, but then like immediately would start talking shit about their backs. Like, that's what I observed when I was growing up. Like, that's how my family was like, especially like after church. I'd be like, "Were you guys not listening to this sermon?" Because like I remember like every Sunday night we would come home and eat dinner, and my sister and my family would just be talking shit about people at church, and I'm like, that's not what I grasped from the situation. And so really think about the ways you show up for community, show up for yourself, even just in your friendships, if you have friendships. A lot of people that are like in my hometown are still friends with each other. Like, those are people that like grew up together and like are friends. I can't imagine that. Like, I have one or two that I talk to here and there, you know, like once or twice a year, that I like grew up with. But even them, like at this point in life, nah, not really. You know, because I think especially the past year has really radicalized me even further to, I just don't have things in common with people outside of wanting to change the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not raising your children the same way I'm raising my children, I don't know. But that's like interpersonal. That's not what I'm talking about with community. And that's the thing, is like within community, you can create stuff, you know, like we did with this Create Art Space. It's just, and it doesn't even have to be that, but like, you know, you could make a free library, or like there's people who have made like, you know, free Saturday tables where like everyone in the hood or community brings their shit they don't want, and everyone, you know, clothing swaps. That was the thing I learned about in my master's program, because all the kids were doing it. I'm like, what is this? And like everyone would just take their old clothes, and like we'd have this big party, and like we'd swap stuff, and then whatever nobody wanted, we would donate to a thrift store or something. Like, those are really cool things. And it's like, you know, those are some of the ways that we can start combating, you know, it's cooperative economics situations. And I know that this has been all over the place, but I'm kind of just allowing things to flow, because it's like, you know, especially when you think about this, like, be the change you wish to see in the world. It's like, what does that look like? So I'm just giving you examples of like, what does that look like? Like, for me in this art space, a big part of that is like getting Niall around other kids and getting him familiar with what community looks like, and he knows the hard work that goes into that. You know, both of his parents are community organizers, and so it's important, you know, even the background of like seeing mommy do the tables and setting up and everything, and now he's like, he knows where stuff goes, and he knows, and he helps, and that's like super fucking cool. And that's a big thing for us and like our routine. And last week it just felt so off. And I'm not really tripping on the folks who usually came not coming. I'm having to trust and believe that, you know, it's that saying from that one movie, Field of Dreams. Is that what the movie? If you build it, they will come. But like not in a colonizer way, like in a cooperative way, right? That's very important. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go because I gotta go run an errand and get the pancake plate and take it back again, and I already did that like 8 times. So I'm gonna be done here. Let's go ahead and pull one more of these cutesy little niceties. Yeah, we'll stop here. You can do this! Have a good one. It hasn't been stopping.